Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the next edition of the Draft Huddle with my boy Foots, the King. What's going on, man?
Yo, Joe Rod, we're in the building. We're here, uh, bringing you guys with my parrot on my shirt. I was trying to find some Cowboys gear, but my room is so hot. I'm just like, guys, I just don't have anything. It's just hot in here right now. I guess I should put my Cowboys jacket on. Hold on, guys, real quick. But yeah, man, what's up, everybody? Exciting time because I feel like every day we get closer. Obviously, the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and we got to live with that. But every day we get closer to the draft is a better day to me because that'll give us hope, optimism. And me and Joe won't be full this year, but who
Right.
knows? You know what I mean, Joey?
Exactly.
My armpits may get a little moist in this, y'all, but you won't be able to see it.
It's all good. It's all good. Shoot, I need to get one of those, man. That's a tight jacket, man.
Yo, Joe, this my Letterman's, yo. This my baby right here, bro.
Yeah, I like it, dude. Bring it to
Nice,
the day.
nice.
Bring it to the draft, dude. I'll take it from
Yo, dude. We might got to fight then, Joe.
you.
They might got to record that.
Yeah, go viral. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So let's dig into. Now we're kind of looking at the other side of the ball for this episode. We're talking offensive linemen. So
Yes.
we want to get into. Obviously, the Cowboys have, some needs possibly. Left guard is a question mark. Swing tackle. Obviously, we have Tyron Smith having some health issues, his back. So could be a possible pick.
And you know what, Joe? People don't, and I say this, I'm taking my time because people and fans don't want to hear it. But I'll just be the first to say, if the Cowboys went O-lineman one, and I know, I was listening to Dane Brugler, and his whole thing is he thinks it's overkill. No, it's not. Because you have 5 great players on the line. And Cooper and Lyle got his act together, and he deserves most improved. He's your right tackle, right?
Yeah.
But then it's a disaster. And if there's anything that we should learn from Philly, yes, you have to learn from the teams in your division. Their depth, and even the Skins had pretty decent depth. I mean, it wasn't a train wreck. Dallas was the only train wreck when Tyron Smith was out. That's why Dallas does so many things throughout the week. And obviously, he's a young man, but his body is starting to be scary as far as the back, the knee, just issues. You know what I mean, Joe? And Chaz Green it's over. The Chaz Green experiment to me is done.
Yeah.
Byron Bell is kind of a guy. He'll give you a couple good reps and then he'll whiff for like a whole series.
Yeah.
Doesn't play with much power. Technique is all over the place. The thing about Chaz is he has some good things he does well, but then the Atlanta game happened, and I just don't think that this coaching staff or this front office will ever have faith in him again. So I say all that to say, don't fixate yourself on a skill player. If, Isaiah Wynn, if they love Isaiah Wynn or Hernandez or whoever, McGlinchey, and they're sitting right there, Dallas may say safest pick. Do it.
Absolutely.
And so that brings me to the point into how I think we should run today's show. So you always kind of host, but I wanted to put you on the spot a little bit, and I want to ask the question. So, Joe, we're going to hit offensive linemen today, and I've watched these guys, but you have been spot on with your coverage. You hit Quentin Nelson before anybody. The Quentin Nelson hype train has went crazy, and I said, yo, my man Joe Rod hit me to him towards the end of the year. And that was great scouting on your point. And on your part, you were very sold on this guy. Being a Notre Dame fan, but you weren't just being a homer.
Yeah.
So, Joe, your offensive guards and your offensive tackles. I have my list. But I want to hear yours. Like, who are the guys for you that do it for you at offensive line, at offensive guard and offensive tackle?
Offensive guard, obviously you have, probably maybe one of the top three guys in all of the draft, Quentin Nelson, the offensive guard. He's just a mauler. Um, and if you're talking about protecting the middle of your line there, your quarterback, giving him a clean pocket up front, he's going to take care of the guy in front of him. You won't have to worry about him. This guy is a franchise 10-year plus guy, and he's my number one guy. And then I like Isaiah Wynn. I think he gives you versatility, which could protect, the Cowboys. Let's say they re-sign Jonathan Cooper to another one-year deal, and then you have Isaiah Wynn there to play there. But if you need him in a pinch to play left tackle to fill in for Tyron, we're good there. We're not caught with our pants down again like we were this year. And that's the thing about the
Agreed.
Cowboys, man. They got to improve that bottom part of the roster. That killed us. It literally killed us. It killed the season.
I agree.
What do you think about Wynn?
Um, I think Wynn is a very clean player. One thing I noticed about him in drills at the Senior Bowl, he was always on his feet. Balance was great. I think that Hernandez has a little bit more power. I think Price may play with a little bit more power, but Wynn can move well. Who are some other guys that you like, Joe? What do you think about Hernandez, UTEP, and Billy Price, Ohio State, and Braden Smith? And who are some guys, say Dallas doesn't go guard one
Mm-hmm.
or guard two, could some of these guys slip? What are you thinking, Joe?
Yeah, I think one guy to look at as a possible guy in the second round would probably be like a James Daniel kind of guy.
Okay.
And this guy is a center, but could bounce out to guard. He'll give you that versatility. They do the run, zone run scheme there, and obviously
The Iowa kid?
The Iowa kid, Akram Wadley, the Cowboys met with him at the Senior Bowl, and a lot of those lanes were opened up front from James Daniels, from center position, but he's a very powerful guy. He
Okay.
plays with a mean streak, so I like what I've seen from him. You mentioned Billy Price. I like him. Very powerful player. He'll get the guy in front of him out of the way. Um, I mean, these are guys that can, give you depth at center, but bounce him to guard. And
Okay.
they start for you, man. They start for you. We don't have to worry about the position, and we got some depth. So I like Billy Price, but I think he might be like a late first. I think.
Oh, Price, you think so? You think he's not in that second? Yeah. See, that's what I've been seeing him mocked a lot, late first, early two. But you just never know if a run happens on quarterbacks, maybe a run on running backs.
Yeah,
There's a lot
exactly.
of second round running backs. A lot of people like Ronald. I only like really three backs in the first round, but depending on how some of these running backs get pushed, moved, and around the corner,
Yeah.
some of these good offensive linemen could be sitting, in the Cowboys' lap. I do think it's in a position that the Cowboys have to address early on because, think about, the offense, making the offense Dak friendly, right? Well, that starts up front, too. I don't think he's the creator that Tony is. So, to me, I think that you want to make sure, well, that Tony was, excuse me. So I think that you want to make sure that his pocket is clean. Everything in front of him is clean. And like I said, you just don't know what's going to happen with Tyron. So, Joe, offensive tackles, my list, and maybe you can kind of put these guys in order for me.
Mm-hmm.
I know you know about Mike McGlinchey. I got Brian O'Neill, Colton Miller, Orlando Brown, Oklahoma. Colton Miller was UCLA. Connor Williams, Texas. And Desmond Harrison, he's a name that has came up and is shooting up the ranks as a guy, small school guy. I think he transferred in. I don't know where he transferred in from. I was just reading about him, and it's escaping my mind. But out of those names, who's the guy that stands out to you? And it's just a phenomenon how much Connor Williams has dropped. Do you know anything about that? Notre Dame, Texas. So
Yeah.
who are the guys out of that list who really stand out to you, offensive tackle wise?
Yeah. I mean, the one that stands out, who I would take. I mean, for me, the tackle class is Yeah, it's okay, but it is a premium position. So they will. Some of these guys might get overdrafted. I mean,
Okay.
and then with the combine, we're gonna get familiar with some other guys. Like showing strength, power, agility, and that kind of thing. So some guys that we haven't covered yet, we probably will cover. Obviously, but Connor Williams, the reason why he's dropping, or people aren't so hot on him right now, is he's got some medicals. He had the MCL, PCL, meniscus tear, had the surgery, so that knee is kind of suspect. I don't, for me, I don't see him as a first round pick, but only because the medicals. But if the medicals come back clean and clear, and he doesn't have to come back uh, in April for the second visit, then I think he could be in the conversation. But that's why he's kind of he kind of has the knee issue, the left knee.
Well, now let me ask you a question, Joe. During the off season, it was one of those things that was like Connor Williams is tackle one, right?
Yeah.
He's the guy. He's going to be your cornerstone at tackle. Then out of nowhere, he just falling off the face of the earth. I can't remember a drop like this. Is it all medical, Joe?
Yeah, it's medical. I mean, 2017, I think he was already dealing with the knee, and then it just got exposed, and they shut him down. So, uh, he's one of these guys that if you look at the 2016 tape versus 2017, you see a better player. So that's why I
Okay.
think for me, if the medicals come back clear, then for me he could be there in the first round, and a team that needs a tackle will probably take him. They're gonna roll the dice
Okay.
on him. Um, Another guy that you mentioned, Orlando Brown, Oklahoma. This is a big, one of the bigger kind of guys. I'm not sure this is a player the Cowboys would draft necessarily. He's kind of sometimes he lumbers around a little bit, but he has big measurables. So I think that kind of offsets you know, uh, some of the other parts that aren't too good at his game. So he's an interesting prospect, but I think I'm not so sure that his skill set would fit here with the Cowboys. Um, but
Okay.
a good
Okay.
player, good player.
Okay.
What's your thoughts
Okay.
on Brown? You like Brown?
I think he's a big human being.
Yes, he's got the
um,
size, big time.
yeah, very big, but that's the thing. Technique wise, I didn't always like what I saw from him. The one who I really liked was, and like you said, the left side. We were talking before the show. The left side at Notre Dame, man. Wow, McGlinchey is impressive. Um, Technically sound. Great feet. Notre Dame's pushing out some guys, man, and then going back to Quentin. They're calling him Zach Martin 2.0, and I'm just like, wow, Zach Martin was graded as the best guard in football. So if Nelson is 2.0, Notre Dame is starting to be offensive line U.
Yeah, no doubt,
But,
no doubt.
I like McGlinchey's probably the guy for me. Desmond Harrison did some things for me that I was like, okay, Western Georgia. Now, obviously, the competition, but now, Joe, scale of 1 to 10. First two picks, 19 and 50. We're at 50 right in a second.
Yeah,
The Cowboys will take an offensive lineman of some sort. Scale of 1 to 10.
scale of 1 to 10. What are we taking at 19? Or do you know what we're taking at 19?
You take a safety at 19, Joe.
Okay, let's just say we take safety at 19. What are the
You
chances of?
take Ronnie Harrison.
Okay, so safety in the first round, and then the second round, an offensive lineman. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, man, I'm gonna have to go. Pre-free agency, I'm gonna have to say an 8. You know,
Wow.
yeah, and
So you're about an offensive lineman.
yeah, they gotta get it. They gotta nail it down. They can't. I mean, we cannot repeat what we did last year, where they rolled the dice with Green, Cooper, Byron Bell. We cannot do that again because it's gonna hurt. Yeah, we have an elite running back, But your offensive line is only as good as your weakest link, and if your weakest link is Chaz Green, you're in big trouble. Quarterback's in trouble, running game's in trouble, the team's in trouble, defense is in trouble. I mean, it's just amazing how much one piece can just derail this team, and that's what I want the Cowboys to get better on the bottom part of the roster to protect ourselves from that kind of situation.
Woo! Joe bringing the fastballs. Good night. My man Joe said we cannot. Man, I feel like the Cowboys war room needed to hear that. You know what, Joe? I agree. And it's one of those things that you look at secondary and you say, I wouldn't say we can get by, but if we didn't go safety or corner or whatever, one, I would not be upset, Joe.
No.
Because I know how the draft works. My heart may drop a little. And it also depends on who's there. But if the playmaker's not there, don't manufacture a playmaker. Get something safe who can help you. Get a guy, who's a guy, I feel like Wynn could play a little tackle.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Joe?
No, it's true. Yeah, he played left tackle and did a great job there at Georgia, and he handled
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Alabama for the most part. But he's one of those projections where he's a mauler type of guy. So you put him at guard and you're good to go. So I like Wynn, man. I would not.
Man, Wynn is. I know.
Yeah.
I was Hernandez, and then I'm watching Wynn. I'm just like, doesn't get dirty, doesn't, square. I mean, he's not like he's loose.
That's right.
You know what I mean? He's holding his own against studs. Passing blocks off. You got to train. You have to have a kind of a trained eye to watch O-linemen, and you also just like, man, I see it. So hey, I get it, Joe.
Yeah, you see the protection with Wynn, and you see some of the holes he opens up for running back like Sony Michel. I mean, you kind of salivate when you see this guy and what Zeke would do with this guy blocking for him. I mean, it's you can't miss. You can't miss with Wynn. You can't miss with obviously Nelson, but he's gonna be long gone. But Will Hernandez, another guard. You and I have talked about him. We covered him. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out at the combine. Sometimes these guys that you have high, they kind of drop because of a medical comes up, or maybe they didn't do a bench press as much as you thought, which I think is, I don't know how much. I want to see the agility drills in some of these guys,
Yeah, you want to see the 3-cone because you want to see, can they move in space? Are they aware in space? Can they get up, get out, maul these safeties, clean up that last person? Because we know that Zeke has and you know what? You're selling me, Joe. And I already wasn't opposed to it. Now I'm almost like, let's do it because, again, my philosophy since everybody wants to fix Dak. Dak is fine. I want to make sure that, and I mean, obviously it's a big year for Dak, but I want to make sure that the best thing that we do on this team, which is running the football, is protected. And the only way you can do that is get a guy like Wynn in there. Because I think you bring Wynn in, he's your day one guard. You roll. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. With corner or with safety, it's going to be some, he may have to beat this person and that person. You may not want to play games with that. You know what I mean, Joe?
Yeah, exactly.
You may want to get a guy who you say with know who he's going to beat out. With Wynn, he's your guy. Plug him, play him.
No doubt, man. No doubt. And you got Wynn there. I think the Cowboys will.
I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, it is, man. It really is a good idea. It's going to be interesting, man. I mean, the Cowboys will have options to take, an offensive lineman at 19, or they could, trade down and get a guy. So they'll have a lot of options. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a fun draft.
Maybe get a third. Yeah, man. Hey, you answered all my questions, bro. This was a good little, switch up type deal, whatever. I like this, Joe.
Man, also McGlinchey, man. He's, they have him as a tackle, but he can move in at guard. And the thing about him, he's a captain at Notre Dame. And these Notre Dame guys, they don't miss time, man. They are durable, powerful leaders on and off the field. So you can't go wrong. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they took McGlinchey. You protect yourself at guard and at tackle, and that's the biggest thing, man. We got to protect ourselves because we know as much as I hate to say it, Tyron is almost becoming a little bit Sean Lee-ish, where he's awesome when he's on there, but when he's dinged up or not playing, we're hurting, you know.
And see, that's why I'm asking you, Joe. Who's the guy who can give me flex? Who's the guy? I think that position flex on offensive line isn't a bad thing. Now, position flex at D tackle and D end and corner and safety, it gets kind of weird. But, when you're talking about at O lineman, if he can play, he can play. Because you need somebody, man, listen, you want to make a run. And I think Jason may say, listen, I got to win now. I don't have time to develop a receiver or try to get, you know what I'm saying? I think he may say, I need to win now.
Yeah, I don't, receiver in the first just doesn't really do it for me, man. It just doesn't. I would rather go for an upgrade at the number 2, like a DJ Moore or Miller later or Gallup or a lot of these guys that we've kind of talked about here and there. But solidify that offensive line. Like you said, Brugler's not really hot on an offensive lineman in the first round, but like you said, make what's good better. Like make it the strength, make it elite again. So I agree. Whenever you say that, I totally agree, man. We're same page.
Yeah, because think about it. Golden State had shooters. They still had Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
For a basketball term, who says you can't? You got to be original and creative with how you think. And everybody wants to get cute and do all these things. Dallas just keep picking linemen. Somebody could say it's overkill, but they will have the most time in the league to throw the football.
And that's what Dak, I think, he needs that. He needs that clean pocket.
He needs it, Joe. He has to have it. So I think this was a good one tonight, Joe. What do you think?
Out of the park. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, man. I mean, we're still kind of scratching the surface. I love what Foots is doing on his channel, covering his players. I love his takes. Yeah. I mean, it's just we're trying to give you guys familiarity with some of the names, and keep an eye out in the combine. It's coming up here in another 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
And I'm sure we'll do wall to wall and maybe do 2 shows that weekend. I'll be sitting around watching it. And for all you guys watching this, and the reason why I kind of slowed down on my breakdowns, my scouting reports, even though I am going to be doing Shaquem Griffin soon. But I've been working on an album. It's here. It'll be here this Monday.
Sweet.
And we'll put the iTunes link. Thank you, Joe. We'll put the iTunes link. You like macaroni and cheese, white on mother effing rice.
Yeah, man, that's great, dude. That's great, man. I'm happy for you. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm buying that once it comes out, and guarantee you, it's gonna be great.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, my brother.
Everybody support this man here. Good guy in all phases. It's good working with you, Foots. Really appreciate the work you put in, man.
Hey, now, Joe, we got to get these players, man, so we could be scrambling to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. It's time. It is time. We got to get in there, punch our ticket.
We will, Joe. We will, man. It's been a great show. Woo. Mm-hmm. Next week, what we got, Joe? We going? Did we do the? I don't. You know what, Joe? I think that we missed D ends and D tackles, or did we hit them?
No, we didn't. But we should hit them.
We'll go back. We'll hit D ends, D tackles, and then I want to really do tight ends because this is a deep tight end class.
It is. I think we can find somebody in here.
Ooh, 3rd round, Joe. Ooh, it's time, Jason. You got to give up your spot at some point.
I know, man. It's time to get some youth in there.
I've been pushing Jason out for 5 years now.
The GOAT.
The GOAT.
Oh man, but that's good, man. I think that's a wrap, everybody. But man, we appreciate you guys checking us out, and let us know what you guys think of these guys. Any players that you think we should take a look at on the offensive line, let us know in the comments, and we'll see you.
Oh, and video. somebody also asked too. Yeah. Any questions, Joe? Sorry about that.
Oh yeah.
People, we're bringing that back. So any questions you guys have, we completely have waffled on that. So ask us questions, guys. We'll hit the comments and we will answer them on the next show. So we'll have a segment for that.
Good idea. We got to bring that back. Good point, Foots.
Yeah.
But that's it, guys. We'll see you for the next video. Peace.
Peace.
I'm breaking real bad.